Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this special board meeting of the New Britain Board of Education. Thank you. I'd like to call the special meeting of the New Britain Board of Education to order. The time is 6:03. And I'd like to start with a presentation from Dr. Gasper.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you to everybody who's here tonight, families, students, staff members. It's wonderful to have you here. I want to say a very special thank you to everybody who spoke at the council meeting last night. It was a wonderful show of support and participation for our school district. So we didn't think we would have new news about funding for the school district, but indeed we do, but it's not very certain. So yesterday afternoon, Governor Lamont made a very nice announcement. He announced $170 million extra dollars for the schools in the state, and that's wonderful. That's due to, in part, advocacy from people like you. If you wrote letters, went to the state capitol, advocated. I want to say also a thank you to our state delegation and also Mayor Sanchez, who have been advocating for more money from the state. Trouble is, we're still in the position, because this news came out so recently, we're still in the position of making a guess. I've not received any official communication from anybody from state government or the State Department of Education as to what portion of that $170 million might be coming to us. The nearest thing I have is, again, it's an estimate or a guess. So based on information that I received from the independent group, the School State Finance Project, it appears likely that New Britain will receive at least $11 million more in state funding. That's the estimate that I used today, based on a lot of caveats and a lot of kind of hedging that I received from really the experts in the state, who are not the states themselves. That's the School State Finance Project. That's a decision I made. As if you've been watching these proceedings, you'll remember that last time I had already built into last time's presentations about $8 million from the state. So this really constitutes about $3 million more than we thought we would get the last time we spoke. Want to remind everybody that we're at a state that is still not final. So as the board deliberates and listens to my presentation tonight, it's important for everybody to know that if there are to be staff cuts, if there are to be program cuts, that does not happen tonight. What happens tonight is the board will hear from me about a new list, thankfully a much shorter list of potentially non-renewed teachers. And that's what they'll have on their agenda for this evening. I listened really intently to everybody who spoke about school nurses and FSLs and tutors and their favorite teachers last night. What's important to know is that process does not stop last night with the council, and it does not stop tonight with the board. That process continues, and we need to, as I always say, be respectful, be polite, but be really blunt about what you want for your school district. Really, as you heard from Mr. McNamara last night, now the budget decision lies with the council. Also, as you heard tonight, if you were there or if you watched it, by state statute, council adopts a single lump sum budget for the school district. Once we get that, then it comes back to this body. It comes back to the Board of Education to hear my recommendation. Once we know a final number of all of our funding sources combined, federal, state, and local, we'll be back here, hopefully not too long from now, but it may be as late May or early June before we get a final number from the council once they have finished their work. So again, I just want to let everybody know what tonight's meeting is. So you are certainly welcome to speak on any topic you want, but the actual action that the board will take, if the board takes action tonight, will be limited just to a discussion around non-tenured teachers. I want to remind everybody that the board, neither the board nor the superintendent want to cut any programs. So when you've heard me use the term $18.9 million, that's the amount of money that it takes just to do next year the same exact things we're doing this year. I've given a lot of presentations around town. I'm not going to bore everybody with all of those details, but when you work out changes in how money comes to us and changes in how much everything costs, 18.9 million is just to stay the same next year. I submitted an $18.9 million budget to the board. The board adopted that budget and sent it on to the mayor and to the city. So what's important to know is the people who are sitting before you want to keep our school district the same way it is for next year as what you see it now. Okay. So what I also want to do is just give a very, very quick thank you to members of my staff, Ms. Alfano, Dr. Sanders, and members of the talent team who literally have been working since 8 a.m. this morning based on information that we just received late last night about these changes. When we talk about possible cuts to personnel, it's more than a puzzle. It's if you've ever seen those sci-fi movies where they play chess in 3D, that's what it is, because they have to look across many different factors, teachers who've been here the longest, teachers who hold multiple certifications. So I want to say kudos to the team. They've done a really fantastic job. So thank you, Ms. Alfano and Dr. Sanders, for your work on this very, very difficult project. So that's the kind of opening for the board. That $11 million number is the number I've used. I've heard other numbers, but I haven't received any other information on which I feel like I could offer a recommendation to this board at this time. So I'm not going to read through my opening statement again. Those of you who have the packet will recognize it from last time. All I have done is update mostly just the charts. So I'm going to take you through the two tables, and I'm going to give to the board what I would be recommending. Again, when we talk about everything except non-renewals for and potential non-renewals for teachers, everything is still pending. Everything is still pending. So here's what I believe we could do with the non-personnel items that you find on the third page of the packet. If we were to receive those $11 million, I believe we could reinstate all of those things that we call priority twos. Those would be really, really deep cuts across materials, field trips, online platforms for students and for teachers. Ms. Alfano and I were both nervous about that cut in energy. So I'm recommending that when we adopt a budget, we would reinstate that. The extra $3 million, I would recommend reinstating half of the cut that was to be for high school athletics. $100,000, a $15,000 cut at this time. And I would reinstate the previous cut to middle school athletics. So this would allow us to reinstate middle school athletics from the $100,000 cut to back to full funding there. I do thank Mr. Kane for pointing out a typo near the bottom. There is no change, but the 50% club stipends cut to club stipends should indicate middle school, not high school. So MS, not HS. I apologize for the typo. So turning on to the potential staffing cuts. Again, we've done everything we can to get back close to that $18.9 million budget that had no cuts in it. I want to say, again, a very strong thank you to Ms. Alfano, Dr. Sanders, and their team. The key change that is part of this proposal tonight with the increase in money that we heard about from Governor Lamont is rather than an immediate closure of North End School, I would recommend a phased closure of North End School. I believe that when the new Smith School opens in 2 years' time, it will be prudent and wise to rezone the whole district, meaning determine which neighborhoods go to which schools, because we will have 22 more classrooms coming online across the district at that time. This would potentially let us phase out North End. So in other words, we would not have any new registrants, no new entries into North End, would let us kind of in a very small way cut that staff. So much like I apologize, I didn't talk about the color coding on the first chart, but on this chart where you see a yellow highlight, that indicates a change, meaning less of a reduction. And where you see a grayed out row, that indicates that reduction is, I would recommend to be reinstated. So much of this is again, is about reinstating, North End School. We would reinstate, one of the previous 4 cuts for bilingual teaching assistants. We would reinstate 1 secretary. The 4 para educators would all be reinstated. The school nurse for North End would be reinstated. The academic arts teachers that serve the school would be reinstated, so would the behavior support assistant. And 12 of the 13 classroom teachers would be reinstated there, with these reduced cuts. On the last page of the packet, we would reinstate the reading teacher. And that is kind of the impacts for North End. Also, given this money, we think we can increase the support to the middle schools. Our data shows that our middle schools are where we really need as much academic support and intervention as possible. Rather than reducing that by 6 teachers, we would reduce by 4. In the middle school, we would reinstate those 2 middle school special education teachers. We would reinstate 1.5 of the custodians for North End. I'm sorry, that's out of order with most of what North End was on the other page. And I believe it's wise to reinstate the assistant principal for Pulaski. It is our largest middle school, and the principal reinstatement is, of course, for North End. So those are the changes as I recommended. If you tally, kind of, you notice the amount as of 4.3 on the grid is kind of, I made that lighter so as not to grab too much attention. You'll notice that the change, the combined change between the two is right around that $3 million. Again, thanks to really very talented work by Dr. Sanders, her team, and Ms. Alfano. Tonight, we believe that list could go from 49 teachers to 15. So more than a 2/3 reduction in that number. I'm grateful for that. I'm happy to talk about any questions that you have in more depth, if we can, with, of course, the help from Dr. Sanders and Ms. Alfano.
Questions or discussion?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot to say. I am stunned very happily that the number 4915, that's remarkable and very hard work. And I don't know if you guys slept at all since last Thursday. You know, we keep, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think a lot of us want to keep these cuts as far away from the kids as possible. So this is, for me, it's wonderful news. And the money that we're talking about from the state, I know Dr. Gasper has been advocating like crazy. I know parents have been advocating like crazy. I know Mayor Sanchez has been advocating like crazy. So I'm very proud of New Britain, as I always am, but especially when we come together like this. And I just commend all the hard work that has gone into this. And I'm gonna say. But it feels good. It just feels good. So it's going in the right direction. I know we still have a lot of work to do. And this is, you know, whatever inning it is in the ball game, but
We need Mr. McNamara to.
yeah.
Women's baseball. Yeah, I know.
We still have a long way to go, but it's still more hopeful. So thank you for all of your work.
Thank
Just
you.
gotta keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
And I mean, I think it just goes to show, last week we were here and we just felt like we just needed a little more time. We had faith that within a few days we could get something done. And look where we are just in a few days. I can speak for everybody else, but I know my last few days have been very, very busy. And I know our leadership team has been very busy as well. I mean, I had faith in our delegation. I had faith in all of you that everyone would go to bat for our kids, and we came this far. So thank you all.
And to pivot on that, I am very happy that we kind of pumped the brakes last week and,
Yeah, yeah.
and just took our time and, we all kind of had that feeling something's coming down the pike and.
Hopefully there's more to come. though.
Right, obviously.
I'm gonna keep putting that out
Yeah.
there. We got more to come.
Yeah,
Take
yeah,
care
no,
of this.
it's, the work has just begun, but it's a long road still.
And I just want to point out, we appreciate everyone that came out to support. But I'm not going to thank the adults. I want to thank the kids. Because that is showing that they care. And I hope they continue to be interested once they're no longer in school. It's a civic duty to come out and participate and try to help out whenever we can. So really appreciate you, parents. Thank you. But the kids want to like really thank them.
No, you really need to know how powerful the voices are.
I know we're gonna hear from some tonight too, but last night I was so impressed. So impressed. New Britain proud.
Yeah.
Brittany is proud.
I just, this is all tentative.
Correct.
Yes.
I just want people to remember that. And even, with the non-renewals, correct? If the money comes,
So, yeah, I hope to say that multiple times.
right,
tonight.
right.
So,
I just want to make that very clear.
if there is a vote for non-renewals this evening, it will be with the earnest hope that they are rescinded as quickly as possible.
Because we're gonna get more.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you, Dr. Gasper and your team. I agree with everything that's been said. And although it was just a few days, I think, and given the announcement from Governor Lamont, I think, it's down to 15, right? But we still got
You're still
time in the
15.
ball game. We still got hope that more will come and we'll be able to save everybody else, right? But I was super proud. Yeah, like everybody. I was there last night up until 9, maybe 8 something. I had to leave. I had to leave. My wife called me. I had to do a pickup. But you guys did great. You guys, I'm sure, moved their hearts up in the council. And we're looking forward to them making great decisions for you guys.
Anyone else?
I would just like to say the same thing because I said it to the students who came to the Capitol more than a month ago now. And people look at the superintendent because I wear the suit, because I have an important job. And they think I'm the powerful one. But in times like this, I am not.
Right.
Students have the most power. Next are your parents. And then after that, the staff. So students who spoke, I think it probably ranged from about 5th grade all the way up through seniors.
Yeah.
You have the most powerful voice. I want to say earnestly that sometimes these discussions can feel like they're two sides, one side versus the other. And I am here, I'm a lifelong public educator, and I will advocate for our quote side. But the people on the other side are good people too. I do not envy the decisions that Common Council will have to make because they have people telling them that they can't afford any more taxes. And that's probably true for a lot of people in our community. So just because we are advocating and pleading with them, we should continue to do that during their process. But that's why I tell you to always be polite, because they're volunteers, just like the volunteers at this table. We just need to implore them to see it our way and do whatever they can. So don't stop advocating, right? It's great that you're here tonight, but not much, basically nothing will be final tonight. It's a chance for you to have your voice heard, but your voice needs to keep going with the local process. And again, be polite, be respectful, but be clear about what you want. Thanks for letting me speak.
I'd entertain a motion to table item A to allow for public participation.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we will begin with public participation. First I have the New Britain High School football.
was you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Omar McHugh. I'm the head freshman football coach. I've been here. Lifelong citizen, as most everybody here knows. I'm the freshman football coach at New Britain High School, have been since 2001. I'm also the youth advocate for the city of New Britain, working out of the community services office. So the chance to advocate for kids is what I do. Normally not publicly, I'm more hands-on with my advocacy, but this to me is a serious enough situation where I wanted to have my input. First of all, I wanted to thank everybody and Dr. Gasper for their hard work in getting even whatever we have right now from the state, including the governor. It's much appreciated, even, you know, if it's still 50,000, but 50,000 is still 50,000 too much. When it comes to athletics, we're on a shoestring budget as it is. We're in line to finally get new uniforms for the freshman football team that has been tabled. We have not had new uniforms in 17 years. And our athletic director can attest to us looking kind of junky when we play. Now, if we have to go another year or two, whatever, but at least the kids will have the opportunity to play. And that's the most important. I also coach flag football in middle school, and I thank you for reinstating middle school sports, because my little sixth graders are like, Coach O, are you going to talk on our behalf tonight? Because we love flag football. And I coach at House, and they are not winning any flag football games, but they love to be out. They love to be out there. They love the sport, and they love to be together. And that's what it's all about. All the athletes are in here were freshmen at one time. I know that's usually the first thing that is up for getting cut is freshman stuff. There's a reason I've been the freshman coach for so long and did not move up to the varsity, because I think it's the most important. Going from 8th grade to 9th grade, I like being their coach and being the first person that gets their hands on it, because I teach. People think that, Coach O, and I'm a teacher. And I teach the values of what football offers: discipline, hard work, accountability, all of those things. And most importantly is pride in New Britain. And all these athletes behind me and all these students are proud to be from New Britain. And we wear that when we go out and play the Simsburys and the Farmingtons of the world. And we, all of the coaches, and I can speak for all the coaches, we want what every other town has. We want the good equipment, we want the safest helmets, we want the best stuff. And it's always, if we feel like we're always on the short end, anytime there's budget cuts, athletics is looked at first. And we try our best, our kids try their best, and we overcome a lot of obstacles to be where we are. And we have some very good athletes in this room and outside of this room. So we do the best what we can with, a short, understaffed kind of budget. But if you can, and if the governor allows and gives us more money, please reinstate that 50, because we need it. I do not want to shortchange any student in New Britain. I want what's best, and these kids know that when we travel, I love going away games because I'm so proud of New Britain, and especially when we beat other times.
Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I'm sorry. Oh, I get a time? Oh, I got the hook. All right. Thank you guys very much. I'm glad. Should've-
Sorry.
Thank you. I like with that one. Mm.
Next we have Cassandra Lugo.
Good evening. My name is Cassandra Lugo. I proudly serve as the head coach for the middle school cheerleading team. Since I started this program in 2025, I've witnessed firsthand the transformational journey these young athletes embark on. This will be my third year leading the program. This program helps students with personal and social development. Cheerleading is more than just a sport. It is a platform that builds essential leadership skills. Just recently, our high school cheerleading program was celebrated for becoming state champions. Our middle school team plays a crucial role as a foundation that prepares the athletes for future success. This past year, we achieved first place at all 3 competitions. These trophies we've earned represent far more than victory. They embody growth, trust, responsibility, and teamwork. I want to take the time to thank you all. This program would not be where it is without all of you. Cheerleading trials are set to be next week. Because of this program, I'm able to take the team to a National Cheerleading Association camp over the summer. As coaches, our primary aim is to create valuable opportunities and gain experiences for our students. We firmly believe that participation in this program is essential for helping them not only excel in cheerleading, but also in their academic pursuits. Engaging in athletics teaches life skills such as discipline, teamwork, and resilience, which are crucial for their overall development. We are dedicated to supporting our students on this journey and are looking forward to an exciting season. And I would also just like to take the time to thank our athletics director, Lisa Grega.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kaylin Hughes, and I'm currently the captain of the New Britain Middle School cheerleading team. I am here today to express how thankful I am for the cheerleading program. Participating in this program has had a meaningful impact on my life and the lives of many other students. It has helped us maintain strong grades, build lasting friendships, and staying out of trouble both in and out of school. Sports teach essential life skills such as teamwork, mentorship, accountability, and discipline, qualities that extend far beyond on and off the mat. I would like to take the time to say thank you for the opportunities you have given me and my team. For many students, school sports are the only opportunity to participate in athletics. I respectfully ask that you continue to support and prioritize school sports programs. They are not only just extracurricular activities, they are essential to student growth, success, and well-being. Thank you for your time and consideration.
I just wanted to say that you guys are a lot better than we were when I was a cheerleader. Next we have the New Britain High School girls basketball.
Good evening. Before I speak, I just have one question. Since we get 3 minutes, do I get 3 minutes as a whole, or do I get 3 minutes? Does she get 3 minutes?
We'll give it to you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, all right. My name is Michael Jones. I'm a lifelong resident of New Britain. First of all, I want to thank you for what you have done so far in regards to bringing money back to especially sports. As Omar said, I mean, it seems like one of the first things that they didn't want to cut is athletics. I remember back when I was in middle school, 50 plus years ago, they had a budget cut then, and the first thing they talked about was cutting athletics. Sometimes they don't know how important athletics is to young people. Okay. It keeps them out of trouble, especially young men. And so I grew up, it kept me out of trouble. So now these ladies that are standing behind you, they came through middle school programs. The one came from Pulaski and Gila Road, I believe. If you look at them, you might have seen them in a commercial this past year. Okay, with Sarah Strong, okay, from UConn. These are these young ladies here. The Britain High Girls basketball program has suffered for many years because of the middle schools, the parochial schools closing. Okay, we did not have the feeder programs come through. This past year, we had the most success that we've had since 2009. Okay, but now we have started to create that field for the culture that's coming back in. So if the middle schools are not there, we're not going to have a feeder program. If you do not have sports in New Britain, I truly, if you don't have sports in New Britain, it's going to be a disaster from years on. We understand that the STEM program is very important. It's important for that. But however, athletics is extremely important for young people. It teaches them to be disciplined. It teaches them for adversity, how to handle it. And without that, I mean, it would destroy our city. New Britain is a proud city. Okay, we talk about hard hitting New Britain, no matter where you go. When you leave New Britain, okay, they're not talking about, okay, oh, such and such became a doctor, even though we're proud of that. They're always talking about, oh, you were a part of the football team, you were a part of the basketball team. For myself, I was a part of the track team. Okay, we talk about that all the time. My friends from 50 years ago, we still talk about that today. If I go to Florida and meet one of my friends in Florida, they're talking about New Britain. They're talking about sports. Okay, we know that some great things have come out of New Britain. My 2 kids went to New Britain High School. My son, I don't know how he did it. He got 700 in math on his SATs and with the UConn. I can't say it's from me, but he did it. Okay, so we know that New Britain has great opportunities. And when people look at New Britain, unfortunately, they see the negative part. They talk about, okay, they got the lowest test scores. They have this, they have that, okay? So it stops a lot of people from want to come to New Britain. So for us, for myself, when I see people, I say, listen, that might be true, what you have seen on paper. However, New Britain High School is a great school. They have more to offer than any other schools that you can imagine, okay? But however, sometimes sports is the carrot to get them in there. So my 3 minutes are up, okay? So I got that. Okay, so with that said, I'm so happy that you instilled middle school sports. But please remember, sports is very important for us, okay?
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Casey Cotto. I'm a sophomore at New Britain High School, and I stand before you not just as a student, but as a multi-sport athlete who has dedicated the past 3 years of my life to school athletics. My first year being at Colorado Magnet School for basketball. The first year came back since COVID. And my past 2 years here as a sophomore in New Britain High, playing volleyball during the fall, basketball during the winter, and track during the spring. As a multi-sport athlete, I've experienced firsthand how athletics have the undeniable ability to connect students to their schools. Simply being part of a team gives students a sense of belonging, and for some, it creates a sense of family. It motivates us to stay eligible academically, to show up to school, and to represent something bigger than ourselves. For many students, sports are the reason they stay engaged in school at all. And without them, some students may lose that connection. And I believe that's a loss of that goes beyond playing any type of game. I also want to highlight that sports are not separate from education, but they are more a part than any outsider would believe. Student athletes often perform better academically, have a higher attendance rate, and develop stronger time management skills. Us student athletes learn how to balance practices, games, homework, and other life responsibilities. Paying close attention, you realize that these are real life skills that prepare us for college, careers, and adulthood. As necessary as these budget cuts may seem, I urge that they are carefully considered. Reducing these funds for sports often leads to fewer teams, increased fees for participation, and limited access for students who may already be facing financial challenges. Speaking as an individual who has had teammates and known other players who have families who already struggle financially, I believe this only creates inequality for them, where only those who can afford to play are able to play. And I believe education should not stand for that. Sports has introduced me to mentors, teammates who I consider my family today, and experiences that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Taking that away from future students would mean limiting or even completely taking away the same growth and opportunities for those children. I respectfully ask you to reconsider any decisions that would reduce or eliminate funding for athletics. I ask you to believe in us, support us, and trust that our programs are making a meaningful difference, and no sport should be singled out. Whether it's our fall sports, winter sports, spring sports, or all around year sports. Thank you for your time, your consideration, and your commitment to all of us.
Next, we have Kurt Thompson.
Good evening. My name is Kurt Swanson. Born and raised here in New Britain. Member promoted from Chamberlain Elementary School, Roosevelt Middle School, and New Britain High School. former Teacher of the Year for Roosevelt Middle School and Slade Middle School, and 2011 Teacher of the Year for the City of New Britain. I'm now in my 30th year of teaching here in the city, coming back to New Britain, extremely proud of having been a product of this city. And each year, whenever a situation has come up like this regarding budget, it breaks my heart to always hear the word teacher used when we talk about cuts. And then I do apologize, but to hear anybody going, yay, when we still have 15 teachers that are still on the cutting block, there's no need for a yay. Not at all. If we still have teachers being cut, we need to do more. If we're going to look at helping our students in education, we need to think of where is the most impact. We start with teachers in the classroom. Number one, move within a school-based program. Principals, assistant principals, highly qualified, that are going to be there to support their teachers and help them do the best that they can do. Secretaries, we all know, if you've ever been a student or an educator, you know that secretaries are the backbones of our schools. They hold things together. And our custodial, because when things break, without them, the school's not going to run, so where are students going to go? And we can't forget the concept of, as well, all of the programs that exist in extracurricular, our coaches that just got up and spoke, our students that just spoke about what sports mean to them. Both of my children are athletes, and sports was huge to them. I played sports in high school. I wasn't great at it, but I still played sports in high school. But I was a product of the music program in New Britain. And whenever something comes up regarding we need to make cuts and I see the word teacher, it extremely upsets me. There are ways to find other money. To find the concept that just a week ago we were standing here and we were talking and discussing the concept of the amount of money and 49 teachers, and in 1 week to be able to cut that from 49 to 15, there has to be a way to continue working on this. Has to be. Because if we don't put focus on where the students need that help with the people that are, I say front lines, but the people that are there with the kids every day, not just teachers, but mentors, parents. Let's be honest. I love every single one of my children. A number of them are in here today and they know it. So I'll be here to be speaking soon. And former students who, in addition to some of the cuts, we may see less teachers being cut, but some of them are going to directly impact some of my former students who I taught and is now a teacher in this district. And I was really hoping was going to take over for me and continue a tradition like I did for Mr. Salino when I was a music student and he was my teacher. And I moved through the district and I came back and I taught music. And one of my former students, who I want to come back and be me and continue that tradition, and she's on the cutting block because we're cutting things and we're still cutting teachers and programs. Please understand that we also have to look that some of the things that board members may not see or it glazes over is the fact that there are classes being cut. 2 music positions at the middle school. One of my team members gone. No, they're not losing their job, but you know who might? One of my former students, because they're going to bump her to take her job. We are still losing jobs. We're cutting programs. We're cutting classes. And I understand I might have 3 minutes, but there were people that spoke for like 15 at the last meeting and nobody was stopped. So I would appreciate if my name's on that wall and I was a teacher of the year for this city, I deserve an extra minute. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't mean to get heated, but I greatly appreciate that you reconsider all of this and consider members of the Board of Education who were elected to these positions. Ask questions, visit your schools. What is truly being done? Who is in the classroom? Who is doing the jobs? Who is on the front lines with the students? Check. Find out where the money's going. Thank you.
Hello, Hello, I'm Mariah Rivera. I'm a sophomore at New Britain High School, and I'm here to talk on the behalf of teachers, especially at New Britain High School. I greatly appreciate the fact that there might be only 15 teachers being cut, but the fact that they still are being cut bothers me and on the behalf of other students. At the end of the day, I feel that teachers, they're not just teaching you guys this, they're not just teaching us subjects. They're bringing us emotional support. Me personally, when I came to New Britain High, I didn't know what I wanted to be, but now I know that I want to be a teacher and I want to be in the education system. And that's to the help of my other teachers. And the fact that I'm hearing that some are going to be cut, yes, I do like the fact that you guys reduced it and you guys are supporting the fact that you guys want to keep the budget as is and not have it lowered and not even want people cut in general. But I really do stress the fact that this puts stress on teachers and even on some students. Students come to school making connections with these teachers, and these teachers are giving us faith. Me personally, I just like to shout out Mr. Sanford coming into math, very stressed out, and just seeing his face every single day just like brings a smile onto my face. It makes me want to keep pushing and keep on going. It's kind of stressful to the teachers since the student, and some teachers are even quitting before getting cut because they're scared. And this just, the students seeing this, me seeing this, like, hey, I'm gonna try to pursue education. What if I'm going to be cut? What if all my years of college are gonna have me be feared being cut constantly in the education system? Like I said, there's a lot of relationships built with the students and the teachers, and they're pursuing me to keep going. I did speak at the Capitol already about the budget cut. I do remember you, Superintendent, and I did speak on behalf of the Britain High, and I want to continue speaking in front of you guys. It brings a lot to my heart that you guys are as supportive as you guys are, and the fact that you guys got it down to 15 teachers being cut is an amazing thing, and I want us to keep on pursuing that and keep on doing that. It's not just for our teachers, it's for our students. You cut the teachers, you're not just affecting them, you are affecting the students and their relationship and their hope to keep going. Thank you.
They already spoke.
Good evening. Hello, my name is Augie Gardoff, and I am speaking back on the youth sports. I go to Slade Middle School, and I see I get good grades. I love my teachers, and I love coming to school. But a big thing of me is playing sports, and I'm here because I heard that freshman JV in middle school sports might be cut, and I understand budget cuts. I looked into it, and wow, yeah. So, I just really want to show a point of view that many adults, many teachers don't get to see in a middle school and high school sports. Sports are more than games and practices after school. They teach us teamwork, responsibility, leadership, and how to handle winning and losing. Friendships and memories I have no words for them. It's the friends that I've made will change my life forever. I don't know what to say. A big thing also with that is that it keeps me out of trouble. I have no time to do stuff I'm sorry. But also, specifically on me, I play quarterback for Slade Flag football. I also play baseball for Little League, and being on those teams have helped me become a better student. I've learned how to manage my time, work hard, and be a leader. The lessons I've learned on the field help me every day in the classroom. For many of us, sports are the reason we feel motivated to listen and learn every day at Slade. If these programs are cut, it won't just affect games, it will affect students, confidence, friendships, and sense of belonging. I've lived in New Britain. My dad has lived in Britain my whole life. New Britain is, I couldn't think of anywhere better to live, but it's really, it's like a roller coaster living here. One more thing is, everyone has said hard hitting and getting rid of sports will become soft sitting. Please think about the decisions you're making for the kids in the brand. Taking sports away will take away a foundation and a portion of anybody who plays sports lives. It's crazy to me. They've helped us make better students and better people. Thank you.
Olivia Boyce. Hi, good evening. My name is Olivia Roy. Currently, I don't go to a New Britain school. I go to the Academy of Science and Innovation, which is still in New Britain, and I still live here in New Britain. One of the big things that had really upset me about this whole thing was taking away from the students. Everyone claims that they want to help the kids need help, and yet you're directly taking things away from them. Teachers, sports, clubs, all of those things are very important to students if you just even ask them for a second, please. Especially sports. I'm on the New Britain Youth Leadership Council, and something we see a lot is students getting involved in substance abuse, mainly because they don't have anything else to do. Taking away sports would increase that number substantially. And also taking away sports would make students not want to come to school. At my school, I know that a lot of students there, they only come to school and do good because they want to stay in sports, because that's their only real hope left, to put it bluntly. Another big thing that I just mentioned was clubs. Clubs also help students stay out of doing dangerous activities, stay away from substance abuse, and basically things that they shouldn't be doing in general. If you take away those things from students, those lines of support, you're just going to be setting them up for failure. You're going to be setting them up for the prison system, and we don't want that happening, especially because if you look, kids who live in low-income areas, that's mainly where they end up going because they weren't ever given that hope. Sports and clubs are those biggest hopes that students have here. And taking that away, it's not a good idea, and it's not going to make you guys look good in the face of the public either. I hope that you rethink this, and I hope you also rethink about cutting teachers as well. I was never able to do sports in high school. That's mainly because of a lot of health issues. That's unimportant though. And I know that the thing that I turned to was my teachers. My teachers were there to support me. They offered me help. They offered me advice. They helped me get through high school. Taking that resource away from students, it's really not going to be good. I don't know what else to say, honestly. Just please take into careful consideration what you are taking away and from who you're taking it away from. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Olivia DuPont. I did not prepare anything for tonight. I didn't write anything down. I just kind of wanted to give my perspective as a student athlete. I can't really offer you any solid data or years and years of history like these other people can, but I can tell you my story, which is that I was not able to play sports until I got to high school because we did not have middle school sports due to COVID. When I came to the high school, I decided to play volleyball because I had wanted to play volleyball all my life, and that was the first time I ever got the chance. And was I any good at it? Absolutely not. I was horrible. And that is why the freshman team is everything. If there was no freshman team, I would have never played the sport. And that might seem little to you. I'm just one little girl in the world who couldn't play the sport, of her dreams. But volleyball was my foundation for everything. It set me up with my best friends. It set me up with coaches and mentors that I will have for the rest of my life. It gave me memories that cost everything. They are everything. And that is all because I was given a chance to be a freshman on a team that was not important. It wasn't really going anywhere. It was for fun. But that allowed me to grow into a student athlete. It allowed me to grow myself. And as I stand before you, I'm also on the Youth Prevention Council. And I am doing everything that I want to in life. I am where I want to be academically, physically, and I got to play that sport for the past 4 years. And it truly has given me everything that I need. So yeah, please try your best to maintain freshman and middle school sports because, like everybody else in here, they are everything to us. Thank you.
That's all we have on the list. Is there anyone else that, please?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jesse Pierce, Alpha University, 6,000 strong. I'm a staff member. We were taught to go into the schools and teach the parents how to deal with the teachers and the situations in the school. My son is his first year in New Britain High. He's a B&H student. I'm standing here to help the other students. I'm not going to call the teams. At the end of the season, the kids was called and sent text messages. If you want to play sports next year, you have to get your grades up. Now, the grades that I seen as soon as the season was over was Fs. So what was they playing with? A D? Is that acceptable? One more thing, just a point. How many kids got kids 15 years old or older? How often can you get them to go to grandma's house without stomping their feet saying, I don't want to go? Okay, my thing is that you're cutting program. You shouldn't cut the young teachers. You need to cut any other kids' programs. They definitely help the community and help the parent. But what you should do is get rid of some of these longevity teachers that's getting those bonuses and are too old to get our kids' attention. So what we turn it out to the streets, our kids sitting on their parents' couch. Go fill out an application for a job. I did, Mom. Go fill out an application for a job. I did, Mom. You know what the problem is? They couldn't fill it out, and the people's going to hire them, look at the application and say they can't read or write. Okay, let's start with the superintendent. He's making all that money. Let's start with the principal. They're making all that money. Let's start with the athletic director. They're making all that money. They should be held accountable. The city lawyers should try a class action lawsuit against the principals union and the teachers union. I fought with them before, and I won. And Hartford Public TV is on there. I beat them. They even invited me outside to fight. So what I'm saying through experience. We shouldn't look at the teachers that's young and energetic. We should be looking at those who've been there too many years that's getting no bonuses. And we still should look at the fact that we should be taking up action lawsuit against the teachers union and principals union and getting rid of the superintendent. They failing our kids. They putting teachers in the school that's too old, that's failing our kids. They can't. These teenagers here don't want to see grandma or granddad. It's hard to get them to even go to their house, but you want them to sit in school 6.5 hours a day with someone that's a grandparent. It doesn't make sense. And the only way to get this thing fixed, I think, is to start a class action lawsuit and get rid of the dead weight, the principal, the superintendent. They're responsible for our kids' education. We talking about all these other things, but let's talk about their education. Why are so many of our kids getting F's and D's? And the student athlete. Anybody at this don't know how many colleges in America that accepts kids on scholarship? Or how many colleges that does do that? Nobody, right? It's over 6,000. There's over 6,000 colleges that give out. Somebody said 6,000 because you heard me last night. I was saying that last night. So good for you. You listen. 6,000 colleges that give kids a scholarship. If you send out 50 to 60 resumes, one college is going to say, yeah, but these kids can't read and write. What are they going to do? You talk about saving a program, we need to save their education. That's what we need to do. And if it take up to me to go through town, knock on every door, I'm gonna get enough signatures, trying to take it to the mayor's office so he can take the city lawyer and sue the teachers union and sue the principals union and get some of our money back. But they failing our kids.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to address the board?
Good evening, Dovan Hendricks from Pulaski Middle School. I wasn't going to say nothing, but a few people asked me if I was going to. I just want to say thank you for looking over the budget. Even though we went from 50 down to 15, it's still a lot of, 15 is still a high number. However, just to piggyback off of what he just said, I feel like we need all our teachers, even though the older ones that have been here for a while, they are great mentors. There's a few of them at the school that I teach, been paving the way for me and a lot of the non-tenured teachers. And I just wanted to say thank you to you all for taking the time to reconsider the budget. A lot done happened since last week. When I first spoke, I was in my feeling a little bit. Yesterday, I had a speech prepared. Today, I do not. But if we could get it down to 15, I'm willing to fight with you, work with you, and keep on going. I've been a fighter all my life, some for good, some for bad. But I'm willing to put in that work, do what it takes, going down to the city, going down to speak wherever you need me, utilize me. So that's pretty much it. I think everybody in here did a great speech. I can't really follow up on my guy over here or my guy back here in the suit. I felt like you should have went last. So I just want to say thank you to everybody here for taking the time out to really put this over. If we get it down, like we said, in a week's span, we could do it some more. So keep up the great work. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Jameek Joseph and I'm a junior at New Britain High School. And for the past 3 years, I've served as a student athlete as well as the varsity sports commentator for a couple of sports. But more than that, I've been someone who listens and who advocates and who works with students and staff on every personal level to try to get to know them more. I stand here today not just to speak, but to represent the voices of many who cannot be heard today or don't have the confidence to come before you themselves. I understand that budget reductions force difficult decisions, but cutting high school athletics and clubs is not just a financial adjustment. It's a decision that directly impacts our hearts of our school community. For many students, these programs are not just extras, they are essentials. They are the reason students come to school, the reason they stay motivated, and they are the reason they believe in themselves. Athletics has taught discipline, teamwork, leadership, resilience, and lessons that extend far beyond any classroom or a textbook. Our school already carries a very bad reputation that does not always reflect who we truly are, but I can tell you that firsthand when you step into our fields, into our gyms, and into our club meetings, in our classrooms, you see something different. You see pride, you see unity, and you see many students striving for better. These budget cuts extend beyond the classroom. They affect people who can't make the school what it is. Teachers should not have to come to school whether they are wondering whether they have a job tomorrow. Staff shouldn't have to carry the uncertainty of whether they'll have a job or not and expect to care and lead students every day. If we take these opportunities away, we risk taking away more activities. We risk taking away all the direction that we have. And some students may not have all that we may have. I'm very fortunate as a student. I come from education myself, and I come from Trinidadian immigrants, so I understand the importance of education and how that has helped me and my family grow. I ask that any decision that you make, it does not create chaos, fear, or tears within our schools. I ask that you make decisions that protect our community. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, I can stand this up. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Hannah Thomas, and I am a junior at New High. I'm here today to speak about the importance of protecting the programs and opportunities that help students like me succeed. I am a multi-student and sport student athlete. Yeah, you get the point. Okay. I participate in track. I am on the volleyball team for 3 years. Softball, flag football. I'm a part of the New Britain Youth Prevention Council, the local show, and I also work for Parks and Rec. These activities have helped me shape who I become, both inside and outside of school. Okay, being involved in sports has taught me discipline, teamwork, leadership, and responsibility. It's given me motivation to stay focused in school and pushes me to be the best version of myself. Each sport has taught me something different, but all of them have shown me the value of hard work and commitment. I also want to recognize the incredible coaches who make this experience possible. Coaches like Coach O, hello, Coach Jay, Coach Abraham, Coach Joe, Coach Vicky, Coach Basil, I know you're here tonight. Coach Hanks, Coach Gohagan. They do so much more than coach sports. They push us to work harder, hold us accountable, teaches us lessons that go beyond the field and court. They believe in us even when we may not believe in ourselves. They help us build confidence, character, discipline, and most importantly, positive relationships with other students. These relationships matter. Without connections to coaches, teachers, and staff, many students may lose their sense of belonging at our school. That can affect attendance, motivation, graduation rates, which is important, and overall student success. Having adults who truly care can all make the difference. The New Britain Youth Prevention Council has allowed me to use my voice today and make a difference in my community. It has helped me grow as a leader and show me how it is important for young people to be involved in creating possible changes. Working for the Parks and Rec department has also taught me responsibility and independence. It has given me real-world experience that helped me build skills that I can carry with me into adulthood. I also want to recognize the importance of the relationships students build with staff members in our school. I know they're not here today, but people like Ms. Vancourt and Mr. Hudson, they make a difference in our students' lives. They do more than just their jobs. They take time to check in, ask you how was your weekend, ask you how your day is going. They make students feel seen and heard. Having adults in the building who genuinely care for students and help students feel safe, motivated, and supported. Sometimes that support can be the reason a student keeps coming to school. Programs like sports, youth leadership opportunities, student support systems, and organizations like OIC are not just extracurricular activities, they're lifelines. They keep students engaged, connected, and motivated. They give us a safe space, strong mentors, and opportunities to grow. Budget cuts to these programs would take away opportunities and support that students depend on every single day. These programs help students stay on track, both academically and personally. As students, we're asking this council to continue to invest in us. When you support these programs, you're also supporting these students' futures. Thank you for taking the time to hear my concerns, and I hope the council makes the right decision to help better our community and support our youth. Thank you.
One other thing, man.
One bite at the apple.
That's right. Listen to me well.
One bite at
The superintendent of school.
No,
The principal.
no. One bite at the apple.
The principal. They shouldn't be asked to resign or step down. They're telling our kids. This is telling us. They're telling our kids.
You're out of order. Sit down.
Hello, my name is David Dimitri here. I am a teacher at Slade Middle School. I taught at DLO as well. And I just want to say thank you to all of you, especially Dr. Gasper. I think right now in the news, there's a lot of like negativity. There's fear mongering that's people keep saying going on. I think January was the first time that I heard you talk about the budget. And I appreciate the transparency you've given us. I've been an educator for 15 years and I've never gone through a budget process where I've felt so informed about every detail, the goods, the bads, the uglies. And so I really, really thank you for your transparency. Last week, I'll be honest, I was upset with you all a little bit because I sat back there for 2.5 hours and then I was like, wait, what was the purpose of being here? And I, upon reflection, it just shows how much you care and how serious you take your job. And the one thing as a teacher I want is people that are looking out for our kids. I live in this city. I love this city. And so it's nice to know that you all are taking, even if it does sometimes rub people the wrong way, every opportunity to make sure our kids are getting the best. So I really wanted to make sure, given all of the news, especially the last week that you guys are hearing, we appreciate it. But like Mr. Swanson said, that's what we're celebrating. But we do have more work to do. So thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the board? Is there anyone else that would like to address the board?
Sorry to come up again. I just.
One turn.
Just one turn. Can I just say one comment?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
I know.
We can stay up if
You should have said it anyway.
One last time, but is there anyone else who would like to address the board? Thank you. So we're going back to item A, discussion and possible action regarding the non-renewal of contracts for certain non-tailored certified staff members.
Thank you, Madam President. Again, we do not take any pleasure in this action. I want to give a thank you to the people who've had patience and grace throughout this process. This certainly has been difficult for all involved, and no more difficult than for the people whose names have been read.
Yes, sir. Before you continue with the name, can you explain, in addition to this, the law that tells us that we have to make this, May 1st? Because there's a lot of misinformation being spread out there.
There is. Thank you.
And I think that's important.
Sure, thank you for the question. So I'm actually going to read in its totality an email from attorney Jessica Ritter to Dr. Sanders on this topic. Hi, Dr. Sanders. As we discussed, under Connecticut General Statutes 10-151C, a non-tenured teacher's contract is automatically continued into the next school year unless the board provides written notice of non-renewal by May 1st. This is a firm statutory deadline. And any non-tenured teacher who did not receive timely written notice of non-renewal is, by operation of the law, under contract for the upcoming year. Once the non-renewal window has closed, the remaining option available is to separate a non-tenured teacher from employment is termination for cause, including a reduction in force. This follows a different process than non-renewal. Under state statute 10-151C, if the board elects to terminate a non-tenured teacher's contract, that teacher may request a hearing before the board or an impartial hearing officer within 10 calendar days of receiving written notice of the proposed termination. The hearing must be conducted in accordance with the procedural protections set forth in the statute, including the right to counsel, the presentation of evidence, and a written decision. In practice, this means that termination involves additional procedural steps beyond what would have been required for a straightforward non-renewal before May 1st. That said, it is worth keeping in mind that are unlikely to request termination. Non-tenured teachers are typically early in their careers and may prefer to move forward rather than engage in a formal proceeding. While it is possible that some teachers could request hearings, and each hearing does carry associated legal costs and administrative time, the overall likelihood on a per-teacher basis remains relatively low. As we also discussed, the administration may wish to consider exercising its non-renewal authority with respect to up to half of the non-tenured teachers currently on its staff. To the extent that the board determines that non-renewal is appropriate for any of these individuals, action by the board must be taken before the May 1st statutory deadline to ensure compliance with statute 10-151C. Given the cost savings associated with non-renewal compared to the procedural and legal expenses that accompany termination for cause, early action on this front would be a prudent use of the board's resources. I'm happy to discuss any of this in further detail. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me with questions.
Any discussion?
So this has been moved and seconded, so now we're into discussion.
No.
Okay, I have discussion, but I'll leave.
Do I have a motion for action?
So for the motion, I would need to move forward, right? And I would say, because this has also been, as Mr. Hemme pointed out, a lot of vitriol and misinformation in the community lately. I read the names not because I want to, but under legal advice that that's the proper way to make a motion. So I make a motion that the New Britain Board of Education votes to non-renew the teaching contract of the names I'll read in a moment for the 2026-27 school year for budgetary reasons only. Wilson Alford, Cody Belnavis Bigano, Nicholas Correa, Connor Diaz, Andrea Emmert, Rashida Graham, Henry Haddad, Antonia Lucian, Abby Meehan, Sophie Oostendorp, Erica Paradis, Isabel Paxi, Courtney Proto, Savannah Wilkinson, and Tia Zizzoli. That's my recommended motion to the board.
So moved.
Discussion?
Yes. I wanted to explain tonight a little bit about why I will be voting yes, not to automatically renew the contracts of 15 valued members of the faculty and staff of the Consolidated School District of New Britain. And I'd like to say that in saying that they will not be renewed, it is not the same as saying they will be cut forever. We heard a lot last night at the City Council budget hearing about how we got here over the last decade, but I wanted to explain more about the specific timeline of the last week that led us to this vote today. I would like to say that this vote is not personal in the sense that it has more to do with the timeline and a procedure that does not work for us as a board than anything else. I was going to read the Connecticut general statute that Professor and Dr. already has. And we would like to thank Attorney Ritter for helping us understand the statute clearly. The problem that we as a board have run into is that we do not yet know what our budget will be for the upcoming school year, and we do not want to promise salaries that we do not have in hand. In this way, we believe in good faith that we are showing respect to the teachers in being completely transparent. Without full knowledge of the city budget or the state's contributions, we feel we cannot in good faith extend these contracts, not yet. Having said that, however, we have high hopes that we will have the funds needed to reinstate these lines. We think the responses of the governor, his $170 million for education announced last night, and state legislators have been positive. We have benefited immensely from the good work of our mayor, Bobby Sanchez, the work that he has done at the Capitol on our behalf. And this, of course, doesn't happen without the work of the entire city and the advocacy of all of you. It is the philosophy of the board to keep the cuts away from the kids. You have heard that consistently from all of us. In this sense, it means making sure they have the day-to-day personnel in their lives they need to thrive. This means teachers, paras, counselors, family liaisons, nurses. I can personally guarantee that when we do know what our full budget is, reinstating these personnel will be my top priority. But I am also mindful under Connecticut general statute written to protect personnel, we cannot promise lines that may not exist if city and state funding do not come through. Finally, this is a very tough position to be in. You saw all of us crying last Thursday. I listened for over 2 hours last night to testimonies delivered in the council chambers, and I have heard since then that they continued well into the night. It is a very moving display of committed staff, faculty, and most impressive, the students we have educated to be strong citizens. I looked you in the eyes and hugged you and applauded you. I know some people affected by this personally. The role of the board is very tricky in that it is in the position to decide how to use a budget, not what the budget will be. For that, we depend on the city and the state, and we are on their timeline, which unfortunately does not coincide with this May 1 deadline. But please do not give up on us, because we have been crying with you, and we do stand with you, and we will do everything we can to get these remaining 15 jobs back.
Thank you so much.
Any other discussion?
May I ask a question? Out of the current budget proposed, what's the proportion that's going towards staff salaries?
All in all, overall salaries towards in the budget is a final, I believe that's well above the 60% mark, isn't it?
60 to 70.
And that's inclusive of benefits?
No, benefits would be separate from that.
Okay, so separate. So we're looking at upwards of 70-80% of our budget is going directly to people who work in our district. And the reason I ask that is just I want people to understand when we talk about cuts, where the cuts are coming from. And when you have an organization that is made up of over 2,000 employees?
Well over 1,500.
1,500 employees. That's the bulk of the money. And, we are cut. One of the things that's, being cut is priority 3s at all schools, which would include
Learning supplies, office supplies, field trips, software.
as well as we're also cutting consumables or different booklets that students would work in, writing booklets, foundations, mystery science, art, illustrative math, things that they're actually working in and doing the work and learning through. And so when you're using those materials as well that students would otherwise benefit from, that's part of this cut. And that's also impacting students. So when we're cutting so deeply that we're going to materials as well as athletics, in addition to hitting staff, it's, as Ms. Pokorski referenced, there's not enough money and we can't spend what we don't have. And I hope and pray that we are able to come back in a couple of weeks and have better news on what the state of the budget is from the state of Connecticut. But until that time, we are forced to make a decision that none of us want. For that, I apologize.
No. I just wanted to say that because I'm a woman of faith, I start everything off usually in prayer, but with a lot of coffee and a lot of prayer. And I try to stay as connected as I can to not just the staff, but other parents, and for my kids to connect with other students and really just kind of hear from them, their wants. I just want to thank everyone that came out tonight, last night, Thursday night. The work of Dr. Gasper and his team has been just really, I have been humbled because I try to approach everything with a spirit of collaboration. And I have really, and I'm known for bucking the system because I just do. Just saying, everybody knows that. Because I ask a lot of clarifying questions. I do. And because I graduated from PLTI years ago, I can honestly tell you that I really do get to the root cause. And I'm esteemed by the work that Dr. Gasper has done. I support you, I support your staff, I support our district staff, but I support our students for showing up every single day, even when they are sweaty, tired, and after being in school all day and probably hungry, right? They didn't think of packing a Nutri-Grain bar in their bag. They came right over here to speak. And I just thank all of you for listening to them, for showing up for them. And even when people out there in social media, la land, wackadoodoo, they've got nothing better to do, you know, turn the pot of rice or something, Jesus. No, they're over there. They've got time to go on tiki to be bad mouthing. No. I thank our parents for showing up and making sure that they are seen and that their kid is seen and that we see everybody. And I love you all for that. Because even when my niece told me from Puerto Rico that I ugly cried, okay? So I apologize to everybody that I ugly cried last week. But just know, I love my staff. And everybody knows it, right? Just saying. But I'm just really happy for this, right? That we are able to have this discussion. And that through working with our staff in our school district, our students and our families, I become a better person. And I'm grateful for that. So even when it's tough for me, I appreciate you all. I'll just be saying some extra prayers for certain people later on today. The next thing is, thank you so much, Amy, for saying that. And I appreciate that because I know my first thought is always my kids are in the school district and this impacts them. I don't know how I'm gonna tell my kids what the cuts are gonna mean, but it's because I don't know exactly what the cuts are, right? We haven't landed there yet. So I'm not gonna have those deep dive discussions that I really need to have, but I hope that we do get there because my kids are good with change. And I want them to still have enough time this school year to be able to speak with me honestly about what they need. And that's my hope, wish, and pray, is that together, I'm not saying we need to be holding hands, singing Kumbaya, dancing together, but that at least we are all understanding of each other, that we have enough time to speak to our children about honestly what this means for them. My kid is on a 1-to-3 ratio. He's in palliative care, and I need to make sure he knows. I just need to make sure he knows.
Thank you.
I think Grace has something to say too. I just want to ensure, the athletes who were speaking, it really hit me, and I know this, I mean, I was born here, raised here, went to school here. The athletics in New Britain, we don't have the opportunity, some of us don't have the opportunities to do pay to play or do travel or whatever. So for a lot of kids, athletics in school is it. But I just want to assure you that I've had conversation with Dr. Gasper months ago, and something that always stuck with me was Dr. Gasper saying his goal would be to make sure that every kid in New Britain finds their place, and every kid in New Britain feels like they are part of something. So I just want to reassure you of that I have a lot of faith that Dr. Gasper will find a way to be sure that. No, but that is part of what he wants for New Britain kids, is for them to feel a part of something, and for them to want to come to school because there is something special at school for them. So I just want to put that out there, that I have heard those words come out of Dr. Gasper as well. So, not afraid.
Anyone else?
I'll say something. I will not cry this time. I hope not. Anyways, I just want to say publicly thank you to the board. And I've said this to many people. We have worked so cohesively and well together. Believe it or not, we put our differences to the side and we focus on the task at hand, together with Dr. Gasper and his wonderful team. And we heard you guys. We hear you. I know there's work to be done, but a statue is a statue, and we have to protect the whole, right? That does not mean we will stop fighting for you or advocating for you. I myself have written many letters throughout this process, and I will continue to reach out to state reps, to whoever I have to, and continue to support the district in that level as well. But I am a believer, and I know God will see us through this. And I just leave you with Philippians 4:13. We could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So let's be that hard-hitting New Britain. Let's come together, forget about the differences, put aside anything that we're reading on social media or somebody's telling us they think they know. And let's do the homework. Let's work together for the kids that spoke today and those that did not come. Thank you.
I just wanted to thank everybody. I've been sitting here listening to all the kids and everything. I'm going into my 12th year of retirement, and I worked here 16 years before that. And every year, I can remember that we would go through the same process. At the end of the year, what's going to happen with this program? What's going to happen to this program? Why is this teacher not going to be here? How many teachers? And the good thing about it is that we let them go in June, and in August, they were signing up already. So I'm just saying, I'm not giving up on this.
Yeah.
I don't think we should. I have good feelings about this, and I think that this 15 teachers that we have are going to be important.
Anyone else? Do I have a motion to take action? I'm sorry, I already put the motion out.
You have a motion in a second.
Second.
Call the vote.
Ms. Edwards, can you do a roll call?
Absolutely. President Diana Reyes,
Yes.
Vice President Barbara Marino.
Yes.
Secretary Amy Pozorski,
Yes.
Mr. Anthony Kane,
Yes.
Miss Annie Parker,
Yes.
Miss Hannah Patrisco,
Yes.
Miss Joan Pina,
Yes.
Mr. Richard Reyes,
Yes.
Mr. Jose Rivera,
Yes.
and Miss Tina Santana.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you all. And I just want to assure you that we're all going to continue doing whatever we can. Dr. Gass.
Thank you, Madam.
Address the problem, our kids failing. Our kids are failing. Over 70% of us walk around with
So I'm gonna make one.
Address that problem, our kids are failing in the community.
I'm happy to
They
speak.
don't have enough education to get a job. You talking to? I'm a grown man, lady, don't talk to me like that. They got to get back, like sit there and you let our kids fail. Our kids are failing.
So, I want to thank everybody once again for your advocacy. I want to say to the public, those of you who are in the room, there's been wonderful, wonderful advocacy. Thank you for that. There's also been some misinformation and purposeful disinformation. I invite you to call me, email me. I'm happy to meet with anybody from this community and anybody from the staff at any time to let you know exactly what the facts are to the best of my ability. Happy to help clear up what's been spread falsely around social media and other various ways. Please, let's have good, purposeful, even disagreements, but let's do it with the facts. So I'd appreciate anybody who's on the staff or in the community who has those questions, please reach out to them. Thank you.
You do have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.